Hey guys, pardon me. This is a genealogy video. I have, thanks to my uncle, the and not my uncle that would be related to this person directly, um, my mother's brother on her father's side. This is my mother's great grandfather on her mother's side. This is his World War I draft registration card from June 6, 1917. I wonder if my mother ever knew, because she never knew what he did for a living. I wonder if she knew he was a night watchman on the railroad. He had his wife, Hazel, and one child, which would be Uncle Junior, who technically wasn't a junior because he had a different middle name, but that's what we called him. He was, look at me, Caucasian. He signed it, Edson Nori Cox. That's so cool. Um, and he was trying to get an exemption from the draft for family. That's nice. I understand it, but looking at the other side of my family and the way that they served in World War I, World War II, Korea, everywhere, to see him trying to get out of it, and I'll grant you, he was kind of old. Oh, no, he wasn't. My math isn't very good. He was born in 1891, and this was 1917. So 91 to 01, 91 to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, he would have turned 26 in August, and this was in June. He didn't want to go and leave his family, and I do understand that, but it just strikes me the wrong way because I know that my other grandfathers all served. I say grandfathers all because, and I have told this on occasion, that on my mother's side, I have 3 grandfathers that I consider to be my grandfather. I have my Grandpa Schmidt, who was my loving, devoted grandfather. He was my Grampy. I have Grandpa Mitchell, who was my mother's natural father, and he didn't leave her. He was told that she had a father who loved her, and John Schmidt did love her. And as much as it hurt him, he didn't know what she was going through in terms of her mother and everything that happened and being abandoned. Otherwise, he would have been there. We know that from his other kids. He would have been devastated to think that she was as abused as she was emotionally. and not by John Schmidt. John Schmidt loved her. And I have my other grandfather, my Grandpa Currier, Lane Currier. He was my mother's 2 older sisters' dad. My mother had his last name because him and my grandmother were divorced. But it was still my grandmother's last name, so it was the last name my mother received. And one of his kids said to him, one of his younger kids, because he had like 2 generations of kids, I kid you not, he had 8 kids with 1 wife alone, 2 with my grandmother, like 4 or 5. He had kids with just about every wife he had, so he had a whole bunch. And one of his youngest said to my mother, because he disciplined him, did he treat you like this when you were a kid? And she's like, she didn't know quite how to answer. And before she could come up with an answer, he said, I wasn't there for her like I should have been. And my mother's jaw dropped, because he wasn't her biological father, but he was there for her at different times, you know. And it was obvious he had care for her, you know. And because of that, they're my three grandfathers on that side. It's kind of like the show My Three Sons, only it's my three grandfathers. And I've met two out of the three. I've met Grandpa Courier and, of course, Grampy Schmidt. Grampy Schmidt didn't die until I was in my 20s. And I'll never forget that either, because I gotta make this quick, my battery's dying. Had gone to wrestling that weekend, and my mother had done my hair, and I was all dressed and ready to go, and went to wrestling, and got to virtually talk to Shawn Michaels at ringside. It was 1995. It was an amazing night. It was a dream night. And I was walking on clouds until my grandmother called the middle of the next week and said, Grampy's gone. And I'm like, talk about crashing from the highest high to the lowest low. That's exactly what happened. So I will never forget that crash from the highest high to the lowest low. Anyway, God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. And I will let you know tomorrow how the food came out. So, bye guys. Please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Bye-bye.